The easy part is to do my job. The hard part is to do it differently than the others have done it before.
As a millennial leader, a lot of the people put labels on you for your age, drawing a lot of conclusions about what you're able to accomplish and what you're not. How do you feel about these comments that are being made about you, about your age and your ability as a millennial?
Well, I think I develop a hard skin for that. So I really don't pay much attention to it when it's pejorative, and when it's I focus it more as an opportunity. People tend to disregard young people, but at the same time, people are more curious about what young people have to say. And so take advantage of the second part and just develop a hard skin for the first part.
Your campaign, what you stood for, your messaging for your presidential run, all was basically fought on social media.
Yes,
you didn't do any debate stages. You didn't go to terrestrial television. You chose social media. Why did you do that, and how did it help you?
I'll give you an example. My wife was pregnant, and she had to stay in bed because she had the risk of having a miscarriage. So I tried to stay a lot with her, and watch movies, and we watched 10 episodes of a series on Netflix, and my opponents were campaigning. So she was like, "But you should go out and campaign," and I say, "Where are my opponents now?" She got into Twitter and said, "Oh well, she just arrived in a helicopter in this town, and he has a meeting with how many people? I don't know. Pictures, 500 people. Okay. Then I will take my Facebook or my Twitter and my Instagram and post something, a picture with a message, and suddenly I would have like 100,000 likes here and 100,000 likes there and 100,000 there. I said, see, I reached 300,000 people, and he reached 500. He had to move himself in a helicopter, and I'm with my wife watching series in Netflix. It's like when they invented gunpowder, and people went into wars without gunpowder, with the swords and bows and arrows, and the other army carried gunpowder. Of course, the other army will win. So I think social media now, it's like gunpowder in politics.
Wow, so it's that powerful. I mean, do you credit social media to your success?
How much time do you spend on your phone?
My phone, on average, 6 hours a day. 6
hours. What tool should I use to reach you?
As a millennial, you should definitely make some TikToks. I will 100% watch that.
Well, TikTok is more centennial, I think. But I'm going to open one.
There's Zoomers. You are?
Yes, I have to, because centennials are 18 now, and some of them are going to be 18 next year.
Is that a world exclusive? I just got. I think I got a scoop. I got a world exclusive.
Yes. I'm going to open a TikTok account.
Talk to me about legitimate and illegitimate power. You are in a country that's being plagued with incredible difficulty.
Yes.
So, and you've spoken in the past about legitimate power and illegitimate power. You've done something I've never really come across, which is you've said that Barrio 18, that MS-13, that you are not going to engage with them because they already have illegitimate power, and you're not going to give them any more. Is that the right way to go about dealing with one of the problems, to ignore them?
We'll see. No, not ignore them. We have lowered crime by more than 60%.
What has your approach done? Why have you managed to do this where others have failed?
Because, well, several things. First, as pragmatic approach, I asked for a heat map, and then we saw the country, but actually the homicides were occurring in various points, that we got it with red dots. And I said, okay, let's focus our police force and not of the red dots. We cut communication from the jails. And the other thing that we did is that before, they would just went in a community, they would just take 100 kids in a trucks and they take them to jail. And that was, of course, you were taking innocent people, you were taking kids that are underage and they will be out soon. So you were not actually fighting crime. What we do now is that we put more in intelligence and less in force. So when you have a lot invested in intelligence, then you can go and take away the pieces of the structure that make the structure work. So then the whole of the structure is like crazy ants.
Transparency International still says that corruption is one of the biggest indicators for whether a state is going to succeed or fail.
Yes.
Indeed, there is corruption in El Salvador,
yes.
and you have made this one of the pillars of your campaign and your presidency.
We're fighting it.
So, I mean, what is more dangerous, the cartels, the gangs, the traffickers, or the corrupt politicians? And how are you going to deal with that, with people within your own civil service administration that are corrupt?
Well,
What is your plan?
They feed from each other. I mean, because when there is a corrupt politician, there's something that corrupts the politician. There's someone that corrupts the politician. So you have the cartels, you have the business people that doesn't want to pay taxes and they don't want to play by the rules. You have the corrupt politicians. You have the people that want the contracts from the government, so they give money to politicians to get the contracts, and they charge more, and that money stops going to the people and go to the pockets not only of the politician but also the people of the one who pays or who pays the politician. So we're actually fighting corruption in all sides. We just created an international commission with support of the Organization of American States. So it's going to be an international independent commission that is going to fight corruption. It's already there. It's already working, and it's already installed in El Salvador. It has already a mandate. So we have to this is I'm going to take this from another president, but he said that when you want to sweep the stairs, you sweep them from the top bottom, not from the bottom up. You cannot sweep from the bottom up.
You surely must
worry
or be fearful of what the consequences of that are if you're going to tackle this kind of systemic corruption. Are you not worried?
It's a little hard. It would be a little hard to kill me. They can. I mean, that can happen, but it's not going to be easy. And if you see a lot of Salvadorans, I mean, most Salvadorans would not live in a constant state of danger. But there are a lot of Salvadorans that live in a constant state of danger.
I've met them.
Probably more than me. So why would I be crying or complaining about my security when there's a lot of people with a lot more insecurity than I?
What message do you have for children, for mothers and fathers that are in the United States illegally, in detention centers, in camps, kids in cages, Salvadorians who are there? What message do you have for them?
Well, I just think that we have been neglecting our population for so long that people prefer to risk their lives crossing 3 borders, a desert, rivers, sometimes losing their lives or the lives of their loved ones, to escape a reality that we have created. Because
So you hold yourself accountable?
Of course, because I mean, you can always blame somebody else. You can say, "Oh, it's the fault of this is imperialism," or whatever thing you might occur. But the reality is that people are not fleeing the United States and going to El Salvador. People are fleeing El Salvador to go to the United States. Actually, the rate has dropped a lot, but still, a lot of people find themselves with insecurity, no opportunities, no way to find a decent job to provide a living for their family. So they say, okay, I'm gonna cross 3 borders, a desert, and probably end up in a cage. So it's not. I would say I'm sorry, because it's the fault of our system. It's the fault of the society we created as Salvadorans that failed them and made them take that risk of going in a journey that ends up to that way.
You recently went down in popularity to 88%.
No. Then I went up to 91 again.
Yes, I was going to get my question out. You were at 93% in September, you went down to 88%, and now you're at 91%.
Yeah.
Some world leaders could only dream of those kind of numbers. How do you achieve it?
We just do what we think it's best. We're just very, very honest with things. We're not perfect. If you see, for example, protests in Chile, they have in the millions. And you do see protests in El Salvador. You can see protests, 100 people or 200 people protesting for a very specific thing. But the conditions in Chile are far better than the conditions in El Salvador. So it's not a thing of who has better conditions.
So what is it? I mean, why do they love you? To the extent that 93% of them
because I love them back. But second, because I don't know. I think just people feel that we're trying our best, and even if we're not perfect, because we can't be perfect, we'll never be. We're really trying our best to change things.
President Bukele, thank you so much for talking to me in the Doha Debates.